I am so glad you are here. It is Herby Thursday in my world. So let's talk about spells and magical work and herbs you can use to get rid of vermin. Now, I looked this up two ways to check my own memory and see what was out there. I just looked up herbs to get rid of vermin and then I added the word magical to it. And I did get two very different lists, which I think is fascinating because often there are more overlaps than there were in this case. But I'll tell you one that was on both, and that's sage. So today, since we just ran out and we've got that little trace in the bottom of our bin, I'm going to use our black sage. If you have not worked with black sage and you're not familiar with black sage, let me tell you, it's one of those herbs that no matter who finds it in the world, wherever it grows, people latch onto it quickly and they use it to fumigate, to get rid of negative vibes, get rid of negative presence in their space. And we've got on, just so I can read you the tag, a stronger herb than white sage, extremely helpful for inner healing, divination, crystal gazing, astral traveling, vivid dreams. Also helps you increase positive energy by removing negative, harmful presences. So I've got some black sage. I'm going to grab my black sage. Thought I was going to get a sip of cocoa, but nope. I'm going to grab my black sage. I'm going to pop it into a handy container I have. Could go in a bag. And then we'll talk about what you can do with these guys when I've got them. Another really popular herb for just getting rid of unwanted evil presences is lemongrass. This is a fantastic herb because it's kind of irritating when it's strong enough, particularly for, negative influences. So I'm going to pour a little out. I'm not going to touch what's in the jar, obviously. I'm going to pour a little into my hand. I'm going to pour a little right into my little container here. Just a second herb to get rid of, unwanted negative energy, unproductive, not useful, vermin type things. Ooh, that lid. There we go. And I've got one more for you. And honestly, you might have a sage in your house. Any sage will work, frankly. Any sage will do. You might or might not have some lemongrass, but you might have lemongrass, and you also might have thyme. Could I use more exotic spices? You bet. But I want you to be able to put this into action as quickly as possible if you're having an issue with, vermin. This is a very small leafed little herb, so I'm just going to pour some. Again, I just don't want to touch what's in the herb, what's in the jar. Right into my little hand. And I'm going to add that once again to my little collection. What can you do with this now that you've got the combo of three nice cleansing herbs? Well, you could make a wash that you put in a spray bottle that you can spray. That's one way of getting rid of things that are unwanted. But, we've recently seen someone spray things at people. It's a little intrusive. It might be just as good, perhaps even better, since the vermin might not know what you're spraying, and that might be scary for them, to simply take your combination of herbs and bring it with you to the event. You could toss this. Absolutely. Who's going to complain about this, right? You could, once it's tossed, make sure you're stomping all over it. Stomping out the things that you don't want in your life, those negative energies, those things that block you from success. And of course, your success is all of our success, right? Anytime we succeed for the benefit of all of us, we all do better. Who was it? Was it Wellstone, the senator, who said, we all do better when we all do better? So that's my little spell. You might put this out as potpourri in your own home. You might create that wash and spray your own floors and walls and wipe them down. By all means, you could just set it out as potpourri. You could burn it as incense. That would actually not be too bad as like homemade incenses go. I might toss a little myrrh in there just to reinforce those cleansing properties and give it a little resin to add some weight to the incense, but it's fabulous. also works well, like I said, as a sprinkle. Bring it to any event, sprinkle it anywhere. You just need vermin gone. Well, coming up on my time. Thank you all so much for your listens, your comments, your likes, your subscribes, all those little tiny magical things you can do. And thank you, of course, for the big magic you're doing right now. We all hope to see you here at the shop in Minneapolis or online, magusbooks.com. Blessed be.